Emma Lenny Benye Nile Loco, Esiku Dede Asikoyi. Hello everyone, it's Adirunke again. I hope your day is going well. Today I'll be teaching another Òrìṣà song. This one is dedicated to Ọbàtálá. The song itself doesn't really have any title, but just like many other songs, they don't have official titles. But I have taken the liberty to give it one based on the first line of the lyrics. So I've called it Ọbàtálá má jẹ́ a dáràn. Ọbàtálá má jẹ́ a dáràn. And the theme of the song is sort of a plea against the undesired. That's really the summary of the song. A plea against the undesired. So how it goes is you mention something that you don't want, that you don't desire, and you describe it as Toby. Before making this video, I made a video on the word Toby and what it means in and of itself. Toby. We often translate it as big, but it's not really that in and of itself. To, up to, be is to ask. So something that is worthy of inquiry, that is worthy of interest, because it's just not the average thing. If you describe something as big, then it's worthy of inquiry, it's worthy of interest. If it's big, then you want to know more about it, I suppose. That's really what the word is. I've done the explanation. So when you mention something that is negative, that you don't like, that is unwanted, and you describe it as Toby, if you remember that I did a breakdown of the word EB as well, that in and of itself is not necessarily evil, but it's something that you question. I mentioned that we don't describe the demise of people who are old as EB. You can't go to the house of a 90-year-old grandma that died and say, it's not EB, because it doesn't warrant question. You know that, 90 is a good number. If a person has lived up to that age, you expect that at some point from then on, their body may stop functioning, they may pass away. So you don't go there and say, because it's not EB, it doesn't bring question. But if, God forbid, a 2-year-old dies, you want to know what happened. It's very rare that people care really how a 90-year-old person passes away. Like, if it's not violence or something, at that point, people don't really ask many questions. And even if it is as a result of violence or something, people don't really care as much as they would if it's a younger person. If it's a 2-year-old, you can't just say, oh, they passed away in their sleep. There would be questions. Were they suffocated by something? Did they eat something that went down the wrong pipe? Were they neglected? Like, people would not just take it for, oh, the 2-year-old passed away. Good to know, they won't take it. So when you describe something as EB, or Toby, it's worthy of inquiry, and you don't really want that. You don't really want that situation. You don't really want something that is up to inquiry, that is so significant that people inquire about it, that brings inquiry. Like, okay, let's say you choose Ofo, for example, as one of the negatives that you don't want. If you lose a certain amount of money, then it's worthy of inquiry once people know. And even if you don't tell anybody and you keep it to yourself, you will question yourself. Perhaps I shouldn't have done this, or why did I do this? Why was I so silly? Why did I do this? Why did I tell her this? Why did I invest in this? You ask yourself questions. Like, even if you don't tell a soul, let alone if you tell people, they want to know. Okay, so you didn't, let's say somebody scams you. So you didn't ask this critical question. So you didn't do this. So you didn't do your research. So you didn't, it brings inquiry, and you don't want that. So if you say, Ija, lohun to tobi, for example, if, there's chaos and conflict between you and somebody, or between you and the people around you, it brings inquiry. What did you do? What did they do? And all that. It's really stressful to have to address all that. You have to think, and it's not fun. So by describing that negative as ohun to tobi, you're saying it's something that brings inquiry, that brings questioning, and so you don't want it. So that's the first line. You can later on say Ọbàtálá or Babarugbo or Òrìṣà or any of the other names and even sobriquets that Ọbàtálá bears. Mama Jea, you mention again that negative, and then you repeat the first line, whatever lohun tó tóbi. So let's say we're choosing Ọ̀ràn, and there are many negatives. There is Ọ̀ràn, which is trouble. In the video that I made on what wàhálà is, I mentioned that wàhálà is not of Yoruba origin, first of all, but I also broke the word Ọ̀ràn down. I don't want to do too much breakdown in this video so that I don't waste much time or include too many things in the teaching. But Ọ̀ràn, for example, ràn is to spread. So when you say Ọ̀ràn, although the English translation that we ascribe to it is trouble or problem, something that spreads. It's very rare that, well, many times people kept certain things to themselves, because you have to remember, we lived very communal lives. So if something went wrong, this news spread like wildfire. Everybody would know within a short period of time. So something that spreads anyway. Trouble. It's how we describe trouble or problem. There's Ofo, loss. Fo is to skip over one. So instead of, again, I don't want to do too much breakdown, but loss. Something passes over you, or something, instead of gaining it, you lose it, so it skips you. Loss. Àìsàn. Son is to be well. Àìsàn. It's the opposite of that. When you add I, you negate that verb, or that adjective, actually. So sickness. Ìjà, discord. Àrùn, disease, and so on. There are many, negatives that end with the syllable do. And for this song, if you're going to, include whatever negative you want to include here, you realize that as far as rhythm goes, it's really the ones that end with do that work for this rhythm. So EB is another one, but it doesn't work for the rhythm of this song. So it's really the ones that end with the syllable do that work. Also, I wanted to touch on the significance of ending negatives with do. I have not really gone into word formation much, and the spiritual effects of certain words, but it's in almost every language, and I think the Latins really knew this. If you say yes, there's an energy that, with the mouth formation, yes, your mouth is open, there's an energy that it produces. If you say no, there's a closure of your mouth and there's an effect that has as well. No, there's a closing of some sort. When you say yes, say no, you can test it with some words. So these words that end with do is like you're subduing them. Ọ̀ràn, òfò, àìsàn, ìjà, àrùn. They're ending with do for a reason. They're low for a reason. You're not highlighting them. You're not appraising them. They are ending that way for a particular reason. But that's not the only reason why a word would end with do. When I did the video on tone marks, I was trying to touch on it as well, without really going too in depth. Why certain verbs or mostly verbs carry certain tones, why they're higher than others, even though they're the same letters, even if they're made up of the same letters, why the tones differ. When you think about the meaning and everything, they can be descriptive. They can also be to bring them down. But I would have to do that separately. It's a lot to say for just me wanting to teach a song. So I'd have to do that later. If you're choosing Ọ̀ràn, let's start with Ọ̀ràn. Trouble, problem, in and of itself, something that spreads. Ọ̀ràn lohun tó tóbi, ọ̀ràn lohun tó tóbi, Ọbàtálá máma jẹ́ àdáràn o. Ọ̀ràn lohun tó tóbi, Ọbàtálá máma jẹ́ àdáràn o. Ọ̀ràn lohun tó tóbi, òfò lohun tó tóbi, òfò lohun tó tóbi, bàbá arúgbó máma jẹ́ àrófò. Òfò lohun tó tóbi, Ọbàtálá máma jẹ́ àrófò. òfò lohun tó tóbi. Àìsàn lohun tó tóbi, àìsàn lohun tó tó. Òòṣà ńlá má mà jẹ́ aráìsàn o. Àìsàn lohun tó. Ọbàtálá má mà jẹ́ aṣàìsàn o. Àìsàn lohun tó tóbi. Ìjà lohun tó tóbi, ìjà lohun tó tó. Bàbá arúgbó má mà jẹ́ àríjà o. Ìjà lohun tó tó. Ọbàtálá má mà jẹ́ àríjà o. Ìjà lohun tó tóbi. Àrùn lohun tó tóbi, àrùn lohun tó tó. Bàbá arúgbó má mà jẹ́ àkárùn o. Àrùn lohun tó tó. Ọbàtálá má mà jẹ́ àkárùn o. Àrùn lohun tó tóbi. So that's how it goes. Ọ̀ràn lohun tó tóbi. Bàbá arúgbó má mà jẹ́ àrọ́ràn, má jẹ́ àdáràn, má jẹ́ àrọ́ràn. Ọ̀ràn lohun tó tóbi. Òfò lohun tó tóbi. Bàbá arúgbó má mà jẹ́ aṣòfò, má jẹ́ arófò. Òfò lohun tó tóbi. The verb that comes before the noun that represents something negative, trouble, loss, whatever, may differ. So that could be to cause or to create. If you do something that is wrong, that would spread, you've created trouble. To be the one responsible for trouble or a problem because of some inaction or negligence, So, Daran, it's a prayer too that people make all the time. We won't do something either silly or, due to an oversight or something that would bring trouble or problem. We won't be that person that does it. And we won't see it too. Ri is to see or to experience. So when I was singing, when I was replacing words with some of these, I also said ri at some point. Ri is to see, at its basic level, but it's also to experience. And it's the word in Ori. When I explained what Ori means in and of itself, I talked about it too. So we would not see it, even if we're not responsible for it, if we're somehow involved or even just witnessing it, depending on how empathetic or sympathetic you are, it can be very upsetting. So we wouldn't see it either. We wouldn't experience it either. Communal living was very rare that something negative would happen and everybody would it wasn't a New York type of life where everybody minds their business. Everybody wanted to know what it was about. Of course, there were different kinds of people, just like they are now. So for some people, it's just for their own entertainment. But for many other people, it was so that they could help. How can we fix this? What happened? Everybody felt responsible for the other person. I know that as far as privacy is concerned, that doesn't seem fun. Everybody that was older than you was at least within the age range of an older sibling, was your older sibling. Everybody that was old enough to birth you was your mother. Everybody that was old enough to birth you was your father. So that was the kind of life that it was and still is in many parts of, Nigeria and West Africa and where many Yoruba people are. But to a degree, and depending on the location too. Let's explore what the words mean in and of themselves. So if we're doing honor, trouble or problem, again, the thing that spreads, ni is, is the thing. To is two words combined, and it means that. Ti is like that. O is it, but we just say that it, just that works. That. To, and then Toby, I said big here. That's not what it really is, but serious, intense, worthy of inquiry, worthy of interest. This is not the exact transliteration. This is a translation. It's big, it's serious, it's intense, it's worthy of inquiry. It brings inquiry, it brings interest, and you don't want unnecessary interest. I put this image here so you'd realize, even if you don't share it with anybody, you're thinking, what could I have done? Why did I do that? How did I do that? What for? And all that. The transliteration, trouble is the thing that is big. Trouble is the thing that brings inquiry. See, this is the video that I did on Wahala and the fact that it's not a Yoruba word. Trouble, the thing that spreads, is the thing that brings inquiry. If it spreads, then everybody would be asking, why did you do that? She lost that amount of money. What was she thinking? That's what trouble is, and you don't want that. And so you're mentioning Obatala's name, his names, Ọbàtálá, Babarugbo, Vishanla. Ọbàtálá has many names and nicknames. Mama jẹ́ Dáràn, mama jẹ́ ṣe òfò, mama jẹ́ rí ìjà, mama jẹ́ kó àrùn. Ma is do not, ma don't, that's ma. Ma. That ma is emphatic. I don't know if it has a perfect English translation, but surely or definitely, like the closest that I could think of, but it emphasizes what you're about to say next. It's like, oh, it's like, please, if you know, when you say please and you add oh, please, oh, you're emphasizing what you're about to say next when you include ma. It's emphatic. Now, as far as a perfect English version goes, I don't know. Maybe surely or definitely but it's emphatic. Je is allow or let or even become and so on. But in this context, allow or let. A is us. And then you can fill in the blanks with any of this. So da, or like I said earlier, to cause or to create trouble. She ofu, to do or even to experience loss. It's do in and of itself. You can do loss by your own actions too, just like in Daran, to experience loss. Rí àìsàn, ráìsàn when you combine. Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ Daran o, Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ aṣòfò, òfò lóhun tó. Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ aráìsàn o, àìsàn lóhun tó tó. Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ àríjà o, ìjà lóhun tó tó. Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ akárùn o, àrùn lóhun tó tóbi. And so on. Rí àìsàn, to see sickness. If you want to make that more personal, you could say ṣe àìsàn, ṣàìsàn. Ṣe àìsàn too, you can say that. To do sickness, I mean, sickness is not something you do, but it's something that is carried out with your body, that manifests in and through your body, that is exhibited through your body. So if you want to make that personal, you can even say má jẹ́ a ṣe àìsàn. Don't let us be sick. Don't let us do sickness. Don't let us be sick. Or even if you're saying it in general, whether it's you or anybody else around you, má jẹ́ a rí àìsàn, má jẹ́ a rí ìjà. To see discord, ìjà can be fight, discord, conflict. Don't let us see that. Don't let us experience that. Kó àrùn. Mú is like to take. Kó is like to pack. And we usually use it to describe taking things in large quantities or taking something that is not necessarily countable. For instance, a sickness. So kó, to contract. That's it. To contract a disease. Don't let us contract a disease. Whether through certain types of relations or just while we're minding our business. So mama jẹ́, it's like you're really emphasizing the please, oh. Don't let us experience any of this. Don't let us do any of this. Don't let us see any of this. You know, mama jẹ́ Daran. If you're choosing Daran, don't let us be the cause of trouble. Don't let trouble be linked back to us. Like, so you don't know that you're responsible for this thing because you said this or because you did this. You don't know that your actions have caused this many people so much stress. Please, Ọbàtálá, Babarugbo, let us not be the cause of that. So the translation would be, do not, surely, surely do not let us be the cause of trouble, or don't let us cause trouble. Surely we ask that you do not let us be the cause of trouble. We ask that you don't make us responsible for trouble, for turmoil. That's really the song. Ọ̀ràn lóhun tó tóbi, ọ̀ràn lóhun tó tó, Babarugbo mama jẹ́ Daran o. Ọ̀ràn lóhun tó tóbi, ìjà lóhun tó tóbi, ìjà lóhun tó tó, Babarugbo mama jẹ́ àríjà o. Ìjà lóhun tó tó, Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ àríjà o. Ìjà lóhun tó tóbi. Àìsàn lóhun tó tóbi, àìsàn lóhun tó tó, Babarugbo mama jẹ́ aṣàìsàn o. Àìsàn lóhun tó tó, Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ aṣàìsàn o. Àìsàn lóhun tó tóbi. Àrùn lóhun tó tóbi, àrùn lóhun tó tó, òòṣà ńlá mama jẹ́ akárùn o. Àrùn lóhun tó tó, Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ akárùn o. Àrùn lóhun tó tóbi. If you have any questions or like additions or song recommendations, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and for your time. If I'm going to do another Ọbàtálá song, it would be Ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ banjo, Ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ banjo, Ọbàtálá dìde òjò ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀, Ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ banjo. Ọ̀rẹ́ ò ní bàtà dìde òjò ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀, Ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ banjo. I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day and bye for now.
Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ àròfò, òfò lóhun tó tóbi. Ìjà lóhun tó tóbi, ìjà lóhun. Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ àríjà o, ìjà lóhun tó tóbi. Ọbàtálá mama jẹ́ àríjà o, ìjà lóhun tó tóbi.